Hey there, so as promised, today we'll be starting with the chapter first of IGCSE Biology, that is characteristics and classification of living organisms. So this is the syllabus that we can see, and yes, we'll be marking each and everything once we are done with the chapter. And as promised, that when we're going to start with the chapter, if you have a mindset that you'll be memorizing some definitions, so please throw it out, because no mugging up, no rote memorization, only understanding, conceptual based learning is ready to go. Let's get started with our new chapter, characteristics of living organisms. Let's say I ask you a question that let's talk about this comb, or let's talk about a family or horse or bird. Are they living or not? So you'll say, hey man, I know the answer. They're living. So I'll ask you, what's the answer? You'll say, because they show movement. They show movement. Movement? What does that mean? See, this is a person. It can go from one place to another. So he's showing movement. That's why he's living. Oh, that's great. Elephant can also show movement. That's why it's living. All right, that's great. Anything else for a thing to be called as living? Yeah, I know. I think it's reproduction. If you can have babies, if you can have kids, then we'll say that you are living. Okay, anything else? I think you are going right, but see, this is not the right way. Because if you're talking about movement, then I agree that this Mr. or person is showing movement. What about the trees? Are they showing movement? But still they are living. So to answer all the questions, we're going to start with the chapter. So see, when we talk about something called living, so living, it has its heart in life, and biology is all about life. So, although, say, we'll be studying this, that anything that is made up of cell is living. Hey, I'm not talking about the battery. It's no. This is not the cell. Cell is a part of chapter second, and we'll be seeing that what basically cell is. So definitely, cell is a fundamental unit. But as said, that I'll be sticking to the syllabus, so not going into detail. Okay, so to talk about all the features or all the characteristics that the living organisms show, this lady in green is going to help us a lot. So from the beginning she used to love the green color. That's why her parents named her as Mrs. Green. Please don't write Mrs. Green. She just loves green color, but her name is Mrs. Green. And Mrs. Green is going to help us to remember that what all are the characteristics that the living organisms show. So this is Mrs. and this is GREN. So what does this M stands for? Here, M stands for movement. Sorry, kindly bear with my handwriting. I know it's pathetic, but hopefully you'll understand. R stands for respiration. Please don't get worried about seeing these strange terms. They are very easy if you'll understand the meaning. S stands for sensitivity. Sensitivity. G stands for growth. R stands for reproduction. E stands for excretion. Please don't mix it with like ejection, that is poop. No, it's not the same. We'll discuss that as well. And N stands for nutrition. So thank you, Mrs. Green, for telling us that your name, MRSGREN, all the characteristics, all the features are required for a particular thing to be called as living. So let's see the first part, movement. Again, let me ask a question from Mr. X. Hey, Mr. X, what is movement? Yes, I know this person. I know, with my handwriting, drawings are also quite bad. This person is going from this place to this. Definitely, he's showing movement. Absolutely. And further, I have a very hungry elephant. I don't know it's looking like elephant or not. Kindly assume, please. and he's quite hungry. So in search of food, this elephant is also going from one place to another. Is this a movement? Yes, elephant is also going from one place to another. So if I ask you, this person is showing movement, is he living? You'll say yes, he's living. This elephant, he's showing movement, he's going from position A to position B. Is he living? Yes, again. But oh my god, what about this tree? The tree can't go from this position to the elephant. Does that mean it's not living? Oh, that's a question. So you said movement, and tree can't show movement. So what's the answer? Stretch your head, give it a try. Okay, the actual answer is that even the trees are showing movement, but certain movements are very slow and they are not visible to our naked eyes. Now you can see that if a person is going from one place to another, you can see it. If elephant is going from one place to another, you can see it, because here the whole organism is going from one place to another. But let's see this example. Here, this is the plant, this is the stem, and the stem is growing, or it's showing its movement towards the sun. You must be knowing about the sunflower, where the flower, it turns itself as per the sunlight. So let's say if I have this plant, this is the stem part, and further this is the root part. So is it living? Yes, it's living. It's also moving, but the movement is so slow that we can't see. So if we talk about the stems, it is again moving towards the sunlight, towards light. If I talk about the roots, yes, they are also showing movement. They are going towards the gravity. That means they're also living. So yes, all the living organisms, they must show movement. Doesn't matter the movement is very slow or not. So recapitulating everything, so what IGC is expecting from you. So please don't cram the definition. Here we are talking about the living organisms. Agree? Yes, something is happening, action is happening, person is going from one place to another, action is happening, the plant is growing, action is happening. So if I talk about the definition, then just remember the key points. First key point says that movement is the action by an organism. Do you agree or not? Yes, it is the action by an organism, in which what is happening, either the whole organism or the part of an organism is showing some change in the position or the place, right? So this is the first keyword, that it is the action done by an organism, where the organism where the organism, or don't forget to mention this, part of the organism. Here you can see in plants, not the whole organism but the part of organism is showing change. What kind of change? They're not changing their dresses. So what kind of change we are talking about? They are showing the change by showing the change in position. Either they are changing their position or they are changing their place. So this is the definition of movement. No need to cram. This is the action done by an organism, where organism, whole organism or the part of organism, here you can see in the plant, is changing its position or place. That's it. Let's see what is respiration. I know you're brilliant people. What is respiration? Hey man, it's quite simple. Whatever we breathe in or whatever we breathe out, this is respiration. So I am very sorry, this is not respiration, and it is a general tendency for people to mix the respiration with breathing. So kindly remember, respiration is not breathing, right? There's a vast difference. Here what you can see is breathing, it is not respiration. So what is respiration? Again, there's no need to cram the definition. We'll be saying it That's how it's be. What is actual respiration in depth we'll learn when we'll see the chapter of respiration. But as of now, just remember what is happening. So as I told you in the beginning, that human body is made up of cells. You agree? So humans, we eat food. When we eat food, I ask you, what is the purpose? See, here we're talking a person is going from one place to another. So anything that is happening around us, it demands energy. So basically, we are taking food, and food has some very special things in it. We call them, any guess? Yes, they are nutrients. We'll discuss about the nutrients. And further, our ultimate goal is this zigzag zoom 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 zoom, and the zigzag zoom is basically nothing but this is energy. We all need energy. This is the money, this is the currency, this is what we all need. So we all need energy. So let's come to the process of respiration. So just generation of energy, it's not a cup of tea. So there's like series of reactions that are happening inside the cell. So what is happening inside the cell? It's not we are saying that we need energy, give me energy. No, cell is not going to do that. So cell will say, hey, just give me food, and some kind of reactions, basically chemical reactions, the cell will carry out, and only after that it will release energy. Further, it will be helpful for you to remember that whenever some chemical reactions happen in the body, you get the useful product, but simultaneously some of the toxic products are also formed in the process, right? So not getting into it, but yes, you'll be getting to know this during the excretion part. So right now I just want you to focus on that inside the cell some reactions are happening to release the energy. This is respiration. Respiration. So respiration, just make E quite big. Right, this is respiration, and E stands for energy. This is the process how you're liberating energy. So now we'll be seeing, and don't think this is a cell, this is actually a part of cell. This is called mitochondria. So G is glucose. Glucose is a nutrient, right? So our body is using glucose, and it's releasing the waste product, the toxic products that I talked about, like carbon dioxide. And yes, you can see something like this. This is a symbol of flash. Have you seen flash? So this is our energy. This is what we want. And respiration, E, energy. So this is energy. So the key points that you have to remember for respiration. See, if you'll understand the basic concept now, so when we'll study the chapter in depth, it will be very easy for you. So respiration, the key concept you have to remember. First thing, so like, can you tell me how the cells are giving? Cells are not giving you energy. You are strong cell are giving. No. Just remember. So what is respiration? Definitely some chemical reactions are happening. And where are these chemical reactions are happening? Chemical reactions are happening inside the cell. Agree or not? Fine. And what they are doing? They are just trying to release the energy from the nutrient molecules, right? So chemical reactions in the cells in which there is a breakdown. There is a breakdown of nutrients. There's a breakdown of nutrients, and in this process, what is released? Energy is released. This is the definition, and this is the concept. Some chemical reactions are the cell in which they are breaking down the nutrients to release the energy. This is respiration. So just remember that breathing is a part of respiration. How? Because by breathing you'll take in the vital gas oxygen, and that oxygen is useful when you break down the nutrients to release the energy. Oxygen is required, right? So breathing is not respiration. Breathing is just breathing, and respiration is the release of energy. I hope that makes sense. Let's come to S of misses, and that is sensitivity. Oops, I'm quite sorry for that video. I'm sorry. But that was required for you to tell the concept of sensitivity. So just remember that if you talk about sensitivity, then we have a chapter ahead, control and coordination. You'll be learning the same thing over there. So there are two terms. First is stimulus, and the second thing is response. So when you watch that horror video, so that was the stimulus, and you got scared. Probably you might have like turned off your phone or computer, so that was your response. So over here, when the father is scolding the boy, this is stimulus, and when the boy is closing his ears, that is the response. We humans, or all the living organisms, they are very good in doing that. So let's say this ice cream is the stimulus, and the boy getting very happy is the response. Winters, quite cold is the stimulus, and how you are adapting, what kind of changes you are bringing in yourself, wearing jackets, and so this is the response. Summers, very hot conditions, the stimulus, and how you're trying to keep yourself cool, this is a response. So basically, sensitivity, all living organisms, they are quite capable, they're sensitive because they can receive the stimulus and accordingly they can generate the response. So jumping to the definition of sensitivity, again, no cramming, I request. So sensitivity is the ability to detect or sense the stimulus. What is sensitivity? It is the ability to detect the stimulus and respond to the change. So first thing is, it is the ability. How can I forget to write ability? Please don't cram. Ability to detect the stimulus. Definitely, if it's cold, you'll wear a jacket. Ability to detect the stimulus and then respond to the change. Whatever changes happen, you have to respond. So all the living things do that. Okay, we are done with the stimulus. Let's come to GREN. G of GREN. So what is growth? See, when we were born, probably our hand was like this. Then as we grew, our body grew, our what is basically growth? This is a permanent increase in size. So after attaining the age of 70, if you want your hand to be like this again, sorry, that is not possible. So we started from a plantlet, and further this plantlet, with the course of time, it like turned into a tree. So now if this tree want to go back to the stage, sorry, they can't. So the keywords that you have to remember over here is permanent. Is it permanent or temporary? This is a permanent. Increase, definitely growth is increase. Oh, that's quite dirty. Let me write it again. This is permanent. It is again the same. Increase in size. This is the growth. Let's come to the reproduction part. Very simple. What is reproduction? So if there are lions, definitely their offsprings would be lion. A lion is never going to give birth to the dogs or to cats. Similarly, humans, they give birth to humans, to the fertile offsprings. Fertile offspring means that if a lion is giving birth to the young lions or cubs, then these offsprings are able to reproduce further to continue their generation forward. So this is basically reproduction, and the keywords that you have to remember is it's a process that makes more and more of the same kind, right? You're making more and more of the same kind. Mans are not like producing puppies, right? So this is a process in which that makes more of the same kind of organism. Process to make more of same kind. So just remember the keyword. Then second last, excretion. As in the beginning I said, don't mix excretion with egestion. This egestion is what we talk about, poop. So whatever food you're eating, the extra, the undigested stuff, when you are going and throwing it out, that is poop and that is egestion. But excretion is something different. As I told you, in a cell, in our body, in a cell, if any reaction is happening, metabolic reaction is happening, I'll explain what is metabolic reaction. Any product is forming. So in the process, it releases some toxic substances. So there's a need for the body to get rid of these toxic substances. So that process is known as excretion. So metabolic reactions happening, and what kind of wastes are generated? These are metabolic wastes that are generated that the body will throw out. So that is excretion, right? So this is excretion, but poop is egestion. So what are the keywords you have to remember? This is first thing, the first keyword you have to remember is removal. In excretion, what is happening? Removal of what? Of toxic materials. Now you already know in depth that from where the toxic materials are coming up. They are coming from the metabolic reaction, the metabolic waste. And let's say you wanted to drink water and you drank too much water. So something in body that is in excess, again you need to get rid of it. So removal of the toxic material or any substance from the body, any substance from the body that is in excess, right? So don't cram. Removal of toxic substance, and from where the toxic substances are coming, they are the, like, when the metabolic reactions are happening. So these are the metabolic waste. So removal of metabolic waste that are toxic for the body, and removal of any substance that is in excess. This is excretion. And finally, last but not the least, nutrition. Kung Fu Panda, he needs energy because he needs to fight with the bad people. The Popeye, we used to see that, he used to like eat the spinach and then he's the most powerful person. And yes, of course, we people, we love eating. So what is nutrition? Nutrition, see, the purpose is that we all need energy, but production of energy was respiration. Here I am not talking about that how energy is produced. We are only talking about that nutrition is taking in. See, Popeye is also taking in, eating. Panda is also taking in, eating. And this girl is also taking in, eating. So what is nutrition? This is taking in of material. So basically we are referring to the food or the nutrients. What is the purpose? Just remember the purpose. We are taking in the food. It is for the production of energy. I'm not saying that the process of production of energy is nutrition. I'm just saying taking in of food so that energy can be produced, and with the help of food that we have taken, we can show growth and development. That's it. That is the definition of nutrition. Taking enough material so that energy can be produced and growth and development can be done. This is the nutrition. So that is the end of 1.1. In the next video, we'll be seeing that what is the need of the classification, what are the features of the organisms as per the classification, and dichotomous case. I'll try to make that as simple as possible as I can so that you can score good marks further. For any further query or for booking your online classes with me, you can see the WhatsApp number given below and you can book your classes with us. And as I said, that after the end of the chapter, we'll be simply seeing in the syllabus that what all we have done. So we can see Movement, it is the action by an organism. I talked about the action is the keyword, action by an organism causing change in place or position, right? So, but if I talk about the supplementary portion, so you can see over here, this is the movement and action of an organism or a part of organism. So part of organism was basically for the plant. So yes, we have done the definition. Yes, here also we have done. So respiration, I said respiration, E, remember E for energy. So it's like a chemical process is happening inside the cell that is just taking the nutrients and releasing the energy. So don't mix it with breathing. Don't say respiration is taking in oxygen and throwing out carbon dioxide. No, that is breathing. Respiration is release of energy by the breakdown of nutrient molecules. We have done it. And as I told you, that whatever reactions are happening in the body, we call them metabolic reactions. All right. So respiration is the chemical reaction in which the cells break down the nutrient molecules and release the energy. So yes, we have done this part as well. Sensitivity, I told you that there are two things, stimulus and response. Stimulus is whatever is happening around you, and response is like how you're reacting to that. So sensitivity is the ability to detect and respond to the change. Over the here they have specially mentioned the term stimuli and stimulus. Even for the course students, you have to learn the term stimuli when we studying the chapter of control and coordination. Sensitivity is the ability to detect the stimuli and make appropriate responses. Growth is a permanent increase in size, as I told. When if you are 70 years, you can't, or your body can't be like when you were like 5 to 6 years old. Similarly, over here, growth is a permanent increase. We know it's a permanent increase in size. And dry mass. Dry mass is nothing. Just remember, when the body is dehydrated. Let's say if it's my body, and if I take out all the water, so that is the dry mass. So it's a like permanent increase in the cell number or cell size. So when you are growing, when you're showing growth, it is only happening because the body, you have cells, so either the number of the cells are increasing or their size is increasing. That's what actually causing the growth. And the reproduction, we know, just make more of the same kind. Remember, make more of the same kind. And for the production, okay. And excretion, I know, see, it's not poop. So excretion is a removal of the toxic material. You know from where we are getting the toxic material, from the metabolic reactions, of course, and the substance that are in excess. You just need to get rid of it. So excretion is a removal of removal from the organism, waste product of metabolism. Metabolism is nothing but the chemical reactions that are happening in the cell, and whatever toxic materials are forming and whatever things are excess in the body, you're just getting rid of it. And last is nutrition. Nutrition is taking in of material. And what is the purpose? You need energy, and you need to grow. You need to show your muscles to your girl. So nutrition is just taking in of material for energy, growth, and development. And over here we can see nutrition is taking in of material for energy, growth, and development. So very simple. Plants require light, carbon dioxide, water, ions. Animal need all such things. And in the very next chapter we'll be studying this only, that how the plants are making their own food. We are not serving food to them. They are not having the pizza delivery system. So how they're making their own food, we'll be seeing that very soon. So just remember, and we have completed the 1.1 portion. I again request you, whatever we have gone through, just remember the key terms that we have learned here. These are the key concepts. And remember, so what kind of twisted question you'll get, you'll be able to do it because you know through concepts. Let's see you in the next class. In the next chapter, we'll be covering all the aspects, and yes, and after that we'll be solving more questions. Thank you for your patience and bearing my poor handwriting and diagram. See you again. Till then, bye bye. Take care.